Hello, my name is Adrienne Obi, and I am speaking on the increased deaths of birth mothers who are Black or Indigenous. Um, I have a daughter who is expecting a baby, and she has extreme conditions. And these conditions, of course, make it really difficult for her to carry the baby and to deliver the baby. She has POTS, which is a heart condition, and the blood, like if she sits or stands too quickly, the blood rushes to from her head down to her feet, and she faints. And this is before getting pregnant. So there's extreme worry and fear um, with her and her husband and myself as her mother. I'm speaking as the grandmother, not as the mother, but my concern is as the parent of a Black woman who is pregnant with a serious condition, and my concern about her survival. If not her survival, the survival of the baby and her. But we're most concerned about her survival. We have found that getting proper treatment during the prenatal phase, like prenatal vitamins, seeing your doctor, setting the appointment, getting all the classes set up, all of that. It's been a nightmare. Finding a Black OBGYN, almost impossible. We happen to have one in our family, but she lives in Florida, and in order for my daughter to use her, she would have to give up her business and move to Florida, and she's just not prepared to do that. So we are facing a very real, dangerous, frightening situation. And I would like to say, it only affects the person who's. Hello, this is Adrienne again. And I've talked about my personal story regarding my daughter being a Black birthing mother in 2021. But I also wanted to talk about this article, which kind of floored us. It's a racial and ethnic disparities article, and it is cdc.gov/media/releases/2019/P0905 hyphen racial ethnic disparities pregnancies deaths HTML. This is real. So Black, American Indian, Alaskan Native women are most affected. And it's frightening. In this, the pregnancy-related mortality rate for Black folks is 40.8% per 100,000 versus white at 12.7% at 100,000. In other words, out of every 100,000, 12% die for white women, but 40% are dying for Black women. That's ridiculous. The closest is second is Indigenous folks at 29.7% per 100,000. That's still insane. And my daughter is terrified of having this baby because of her own medical conditions and PTSD with the medical industry. And the highlights from the CDC article are only proof that, we're tripping right now, okay? This data is from 2017, right before Trump, or right after Trump. But even so, it's horrendous. Black folks have over 30, black over 30 who are pregnant, have a 4 to 5 times uh, higher likelihood of death than white women who are pregnant. A black person with a college degree is 5.2 times more likely to die than a white woman. And the primary mode of death is either heart attack or pulmonary or cardiac embolism. I'm terrified. My daughter's terrified. And, we've been thinking, should we leave the country? It's that serious. We believe it's eugenics. But how are we going to survive at the bottom rung of eugenics, right? So the kicker is over 60% of these deaths could have been avoided. And the reasons why things went out of south are all the same things that we've been dealing with for the last 6 years and trying to find answers, with health conditions. So I just wanted to state also a recent report with data from 13 state MMRCs determined that each pregnancy-related death was associated with several contributing factors, including access to appropriate and high-quality care, missed or delayed diagnosis, and lack of knowledge among patients and providers around warning signs. And the MMRC data suggests the majority of deaths, 60% or more, could have been avoided or prevented by addressing these factors at multiple levels. So I wanted to share this. I hope we address this. This is a very real issue for Black pregnant women in America.